we are, standing at the base of the Orcas airport. Obviously I cannot go any farther than these lines, and in just a little bit we'll be taking a look from the beach, but we do have a major issue here for this particular area of Orcas Island. This, without question, is the most vulnerable part of the island when it comes to increases in sea level, when it comes to potentially tsunamis, although the area is somewhat protected and there's not too much immediate danger from the side to humans. There is a lot of the ecosystem that is vulnerable, particularly through this area, with it being a lot of meadows, a lot of clear area. There's a lot of habitat here, and I've mentioned that this is a throughway through the island. In the event that sea level is to rise, being the fact that we're roughly 65 feet under sea level, it would not take much for Orcas Island to become, well, East Orcas Island and West Orcas Island, and the airport and the throughway would disappear. Things that the area needs to think about. I'm standing here on Orcas Island, and once again we'll be looking at the effects of erosional effects from landslides, particularly ones that could be generated tectonically or have been generated from tectonic evolution. As I've talked about before, this area grew very, very rapidly, so you have a lot of steep faces on the slopes, which don't offer a lot of relief. As you can see behind me, I have a good amount of pistol butt trees, and pistol butt trees are the ones that you can see that take the curve at the base, and that happens as they work their way down the slope, as they actually slide over time, and as it happens they continue to grow towards the light, or one of the reasons they go, but mostly gravity, to keep their natural delineation with the good world. So here you can see lots and lots of young growth down the bottom, lots of seeding that's going to come out, some broadleaf trees, and we have our conifers that we got up in here. But as you can see, there's down trees everywhere, heavily built up with moss. And down below me, actually, I'm parked just off the road. There is a drainage pipe. So this area has obviously got heavy erosion from alluvial effects. So that could obviously contribute to it. But as you can see up the banks, it's still very deep and very sheer. And this area, given a big mega thrust event, it's just not certain what would happen. So anytime you're anywhere hiking around the world, you want to be careful, to be conscious of obviously your terrain, where you're at, and in the future I think it's important that people continue to look at things like landslides and what their effect's going to have. Currently right now within the Kyrgyzstan areas and what we call the stands, there's a lot of rapidly built volcanism through that area, which created a lot of steep slopes, and now there's issues with landslides, erosion, and blocking up dams. So it's something to think about, people. Alright, here I am. This is basically the starting hike down to, I'm going to call this McDowell Trail, down to McDowell Beach. Seems to make the most sense to me. So anyways, we're going to go up slightly, and then we're going to get to some orange tape. We're going to break off towards the beach, and from there it's pretty obvious where the path is. Now, it gets very steep, like over 90 degrees of slope. It's all sedimentary, volcanic type rock, so it's very fragile, and footing's not the best. There's tree rot down in there, so even the trees that are on the hillside, a lot of the roots, you go to grab for them, they break off fairly easy. So luckily there's actually a decent little game trail that's been formed, and that's pretty much kind of what I've followed. There's some stuff you got to crawl over here and there, but for the most part it's not too bad of a trail, and we'll give you some trail footage later. But for now, the goal today is we're going to go out and continue to core more trees. We took samples the other day, different elevations along the beach, and right now we're just going to work on our samples within the scarp. In a couple days we'll go ahead and start on stuff on the outside. That way we have some comparative analysis for a presentation that's coming up in about 4 days. So from here we're going to work my way up the path, back down, drill out 25 samples today, and come back and see what we can do. So yeah, off we go. Alright, here I am at the top of the scarp. I'm still a little bit above where I'm going to be looking at, but nonetheless you can see all around evidence everywhere of it breaking off. New growth, lots of breaks in the canopies, pistol butts everywhere. Me sweating my hiney off. Here we go, folks. Be real careful going down here. This area is really loose. There's lots of decomposed material, very steep. You can see there's lots of different slides that have happened here over time at different levels and different heights, but obviously I believe I can start to see the head of mine here, so we'll keep going to find out what happens. Major pistol butt here. A very good sign. You can see relatively young growth compared to its compatriot here, who, by the way, this is one of the bigger trees I've seen. This is along the path down to Mountain Lake. But that puppy is huge. Definitely one of the bigger ones. I mean, this thing's huge. We're right up on it here. Give you an idea, that's my hand. How big it is. Puppy's big. And died. It ain't gonna make it. So this is the head of the scarp. No question about that. This is where the center and the main part of the event took place. This is where the most mountain broke away. It ended up down in the water, which we'll get to later. You know, this is an interesting point because it's so well defined. You know, something I kind of realized today after hiking down and traversing different elevations within the scarp. You can really see, which I'm sure it'll show on the maps later on, that there's a deeper cut here in terms if you drew a plane where the original mountain was, and it's really self-evident. Of course, now they've come through here and cut a road at some point in time, but either way, they didn't get into this stuff here. And you can see there's older growth right above me. There's some drainage that happens through here, but for the most part, and that's probably one of the reasons it's still let go too. So this is it, folks, right here. And directly behind me, heading out that way, is Clark and Barnes Island, which with no doubt by next summer we're going to look in there and see if we can find some tsunami nights and some other things that we can do to help date this thing. But this is key. This is it right here. We're standing. I'm sure this would also be another place to go here if it got another rattle. You can see behind me it's a lot of bedrock, but it's all fractured and pushed and very stressed to the right of me, and so there's a lot of activity happening here. So anyways, we'll keep an eye on this spot. So this is also on top of the scarp where we were just talking about, and that's the direction in which the tsunami would propagate. Once the debris hit the water, it would send out and it would go out there. Now I don't know if you'll quite see it in this video, but Barnes is a state park, and there are boats that are docked up over there now. In terms of large scale loss, that would be small, but it would be some nonetheless. So same thing, and this is a major throughway for fishing and boats and salmon, and what could happen to the habitat and ecosystem. A lot of questions that could be said if an event like this happened again, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Alright, well, I'm still working my way across the scarp. Had a nice sample right there. There's my hole. As you can see, I'm virtually on a ledge again. Nothing really holding anything in here. It's the drainage, you can see, most exposed rock. Water probably runs there. It's probably actually down where my little waterfall's at down there now that I look at it. We will see. Way the hell up. So there's our pistol butt. To give you an idea of the slope I'm on, that's about straight. See through there, just breaks away. Got the whole area down here. That's where I've been coring. It's back along that path, along the edge. So I went down there, started, worked my way through there, gonna come down, right up through there. Landslide area here. Oh, here's our burnt tree. Probably definitely one of the bigger culprits in the fire. Maybe even instigator. See down debris from down the hill right there, just kind of caught up in the trees. So you can see how the building process works, or helps work, because those rocks help hold those trees in. So this is an ice core. I think I got down right to the core, or pretty damn close. Either way, we're gonna get a real good look at this tree, how old it is. And this is sitting in big time scarp area, like the top of it, but everywhere around me is just eroded away. So this could be a pretty good sample here. It's big pistol butt, and nothing underneath it. It's completely undercut. It's a mess above me. Footing's not good. I mean, I'm holding myself up. We're on such a slope right now, so. But yeah, this is what you want. If you can see, you get nice rings. Damn mosquitoes everywhere. Nice rings. So get even a little closer if it'll focus. Alright. Success. So I'm going to continue to make my way down the mountain. Pretty steep. There are some pretty nice little mini terraces, I'm sure.